Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to Ion Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. And you are in for a treat and a half today. We always do something special in Ion Las Vegas. Today, I'm just so humbled and honored to bring to you somebody who's going to curl your toes and knock your socks off and then put a big smile on your face and money in your pocket because it's going to make you happier, healthier, and wealthier. But let's just set the stage. Why is it I in Las Vegas? What is this place, Las Vegas? Everybody in the world. I travel the world. Everywhere I go, everybody knows Las Vegas. You know why? Because if you take the entire population of the city of New York, 19 plus million people, the entire population of the city of Los Angeles, 13 plus million people, and the entire population of Greater Chicago, 7 plus million people, that's how many people come to and through Las Vegas in 1 year. More than 41 million people come through here. You know why? Because it's a happening place. It's a place where you can smell freedom. You can smell opportunity. You can feel what it means to be alive in the greatest country in God's green earth, the United States of America. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to one of the most free, one of the most interesting, one of the most limitless people you'll ever encounter. And he is my dear friend, wonderful Jordan Adler.
Oh, very short. Took my breath away.
Well, Jordan, please say hello to 411,922 people around the world.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Good to be here.
If you are privileged to not just listen to, but see our podcast, you can see Jordan. He's Trey cool, but he got that way because he's been through stuff. You hear that, everybody? Unless you go through stuff, you don't get to be Trey cool. And he is that's Kewl. I'm going to tell you only 3 things about Jordan. If he wants to tell you some other things, that would be great. The one thing I'm going to tell you to begin with is that Jordan is the poster child for what we call hope, simplicity, and limitless opportunity. That's number 1. Number 2, Jordan is an author, and he's been featured in many, many books. He's written a number of books. One of the most famous is called Beach Money, which is really what it's about. Making enough money so you can sit on the beach and have money coming into you like the waves come in on a regular basis just because you did stuff beforehand. Sold more than 1 million copies, and 100% of the profits goes to an organization that helps give loans and helps other people. You hear that? That's number 2. Number 3, this amazing guy, Jordan, has been through stuff. He's right now sitting in a former ghost town called Jerome in Arizona. He owns houses and places all over the world, but he has a residence here in Las Vegas, which is one of the reasons why I invited him for Ion Las Vegas. So without more ado, Jordan, I'm just going to turn over to you. Would you start with where you were when you were 34 years old, which is now, let's say, more than a decade ago, when you were 34 years old at the height of your success?
Yeah. Well, I had been at that point. Thank you, Barry. It's great to be here on the show. And first of all, one of the reasons I love Las Vegas is and you alluded to this, is that every day of the week, I have people from different parts of the country that I probably will never go that are in Las Vegas that reach out to me and want to get together to have dinner or go to a show or whatever. And that's a huge blessing because I see people that I wouldn't normally see, some of them even yearly, so that's a really fun part of it. Where I was at 34 was I was living in an enclosed garage in Tempe, Arizona. My rent was $200 a month. I had 2 roommates that lived in the house. They paid $200 a month each. And I had a Jeep that had been broken down in the street for 2.5 years. And had $36,000 in credit card debt on 22 credit cards, very depressed. I had been a student of personal development for, many, many years. And I'd been reading and listening to audios and going to events and all this. And I tried many different businesses over the course of 10 years and never made a penny. And I was just really discouraged. And that's where I was at the age of 34. I had a job. My job, the company I worked for, America West Airlines, had just filed bankruptcy, and they cut my pay from $28,000 a year down to $14,000 a year. So at 34 years old, I was making $14,000 a year, trying to survive on macaroni and cheese and tuna fish. And it was a tough time, but I stayed focused on my entrepreneurial journey and turned things around after that.
So I want to unpack something, because you just laid out something quite amazing, because we have listeners from all over the world. And let's be blunt, there are a few places in the world, like the United States, where you actually have opportunities to pull oneself up out of places. However, today in 2024, there are people with an entrepreneurial mindset, and I want to focus on your mindset, because at 34, you had been involved for 10 years on a pathway that absolutely promised. The allure was you will be successful. Am I correct on that? You will. There's no question.
That was the promise, and it was internal battles that kept me from having any success at all. I was learning, and I was obviously growing, but it wasn't manifesting itself in a material way at all. Like the income wasn't there. I wasn't growing a business. I was trying to grow a business, but I wasn't growing a business. But I'm really good at staying consistent over a long period of time, and then also not letting the setbacks be the source of my failure. Like I would always reinvent myself and start fresh every day. And finally I cracked the code. It just took me many years. I was 10 different network marketing companies, 11 different network marketing companies in 10 years, never made a penny, never signed up a single person. And then in my 12th network marketing company, it wasn't the company, it was me. But in my 12th network marketing company, over 14 years, I signed up 129 people. And from those 129 people, my team grew to 250,000 customers. And it gave me the financial freedom that I was looking for after many years of struggle. So the reason I kept going was because I really believed that it was possible to create a passive income stream that would allow me to live life on my terms. And I never, ever gave up on that dream. There were things I wanted to do in my life that I would never be able to do working a job.
I want everybody, let's unpack a few things here.
Yeah.
So at 34, if the outside world were looking, it would have stamped him failure.
Yeah.
Jordan looked at himself and was on the edge, a precipice called failure. He refused to take the next step into the pit of failure.
Right.
And the two things that I'm going to say, because I know you, consistency and persistence. Mm-hmm. Consistency and persistence. As you heard, he would get up every morning with that invigorated ability to know that he will succeed. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And there were more times than not that I also questioned and doubted. I questioned and doubted myself. That's a normal part of growth in business, no matter what level you're at. Like when you're making $500 a month, you wonder if you're ever going to make 1,000 a month. And when you're making 1,000 a month, you wonder if you can ever make 5,000 a month. And when you're making 5,000 a month, you wonder if you're ever going to make 10,000 a month. And when you're making $100,000 a month, you wonder if you can keep it. But it's our human nature. It's our human nature to doubt. And so going through that is a normal part of the process. But it's like, what do you do with that? Do you throw in the towel, which is what most people do, and that's why most people never really achieve their dreams, is because they throw in the towel at some point and they say it's just not going to work. Like it's like being in a couple relationships and then saying, you know what, relationships are not for me. Because they don't.
Oh, wait a minute. This is really important because everybody's in a relationship.
Right.
Where you can some people in relationships called marriage. Everybody, however, is in a relationship called yourself.
Right.
And what you're sharing with us now, I think, is that we call self-talk. The most important speech you'll ever hear does not come from the outside, doesn't come from a sales trainer or a book or anything else. It's who's speaking to Jordan. By the way, I want to fast forward and take a leap. So at the age of 34, when you mapped out where you were and the world was stamping you, if they looked, would stamp you as failure. Okay, without revealing everything. But Jordan, today, what is approximately your either monthly or annual income?
I make a lot of money. I've made tens of millions of dollars. Let me just say that. And I still am on that path and on that journey. So I don't really like talking about specifically how much.
That's why I'm at. I didn't want you to give the number. I want everybody to understand that we're talking about somebody who went from the age of 34, let's call it 20 years later, who has earned and kept. See, earning money is one thing. Keeping money is the key of life. Earning and keeping tens of millions of dollars. And now I'm going to give you the most important aspect of Jordan Adler, enabling others to earn and much money to field their dreams. Right, Jordan?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you do it.
I've got team members that haven't worked our business in over 10 years that are still have a very, very nice residual income stream from work that they did over 10 years ago. You know, one thing you said when you said no evidence of success at the age of 34, when I finally, my income just skyrocketed in my 12th company after a couple years. It took off, and I had friends that I needed help moving, and at that point I didn't hire a mover. My mindset. I grew up in a lower middle income family. I mean, we used to go to Denny's for Thanksgiving. I mean, that's the. So I called a friend and said, I need to move out of this garage, and I didn't really have much. I mean, but he came over with a pickup truck, and we were loading stuff up, and he brought his dad, and his dad said to him on the side, he told me, I don't see a lot of success here. I don't see a guy that's having a lot of success because we're moving stuff out of this garage. And over a period, I was traveling all over the country and speaking at big events. And I just started getting some real traction and some real growth, and my checks started going up. And I didn't really, at that point, I was focused on building the business and not building my lifestyle. You know, I was just building my business. So when he was moving me, it was like, I don't see any evidence of success here. You know, I hadn't upgraded my vehicle. I think at that point, maybe I did. I don't even remember. I think I fixed my Jeep and then eventually got my first dream car and then went from there.
So the genius of life is, are you working a job or are you working your dream? I want to ask you, wonderful. And by the way, everything you want to know about Jordan, and there's so much to know, just go to my website, barryshore.com in the show notes, and everything about every person that I meet and I speak with, whether it's in webinars or anything. When people ask me, is there something I should be reading? I tell everybody, you must read. I didn't just say get. You must read Beach Money.
Thank you.
You must read because it's not just.
If you're a listener, it's on Audible as well.
Yeah. Oh, very good. And it's not just that it's inspiring. Okay, that's great. And it's not just information. It is a track that you can see a normal human being that you can pinch and move and touch and feel. And he's regular. He's a regular guy who not just excelled, but maintained. Remember, consistency and persistence. You have that, nothing's going to hold you back. Now, I want to tell everybody we have a sponsor that loves our show. So we're going to go to a 44-second break. Don't go away. There's more Jordan on the other side of this. We'll be right back because this is, I told you, going to curl your toes, knock your socks off, make you happier, healthier, and wealthier. So we'll be right back after this brief message. Don't go away.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good in life. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Jordan Adler. And if you don't know the name, you can Google it. Just go to barryshaw.com. You get the book, Beach Money, and just be transformed. See, there's something about life that people inspire you. You know what happens with inspiration? Yeah. And next day, okay. Information, that's wonderful. Great, I'm going to use it. Maybe. But the T word is the key. See, Jordan is a T man. Transformation. That's what he works in. That's what he loves. He wants not just to say, hey, I'm Jordan Adler, look what I've done. On the contrary, he understands that the word business, business, as my father taught me when I was 9 years old, the U comes before the I. When you take care of other people, the I will always be taken care of. That's Jordan's life. But now, Jordan, you've been in this game, this wonderful process that we both love called sales. We love sales. Sales, to me, is the highest level of interaction of human beings. Nothing happens till somebody sells something to somebody else, because it's both transactional and transformational. Let's just take the past 2 decades, 20 years. Have you seen a difference today between sales today and sales over the past 20 years?
Yeah, in a big way. With social media and with the technology, and then today with AI technology, we're getting bombarded with so much marketing. So what's happening right now is, like when we were younger, Barry, we would get 500 to 1,000 marketing messages a day through billboards, radio, newspaper, that kind of stuff. Today, because of social media and people swiping on TikTok and on Instagram, and people getting bombarded with hundreds of emails a day, everybody's trying to sell you something. We're getting tens of thousands of marketing impressions a day, which is overwhelming for people. It actually short circuits people's brains, and they're tired of it. They're tired of being sold to, and they're getting numb to it. And so I have a saying that the more connected we become, the less connected we become. And the less connected we become, the more need there is for real, authentic human connection. And so the people that are going to win in today's world are the people that focus on the real connection. That's meeting with people, that's shaking hands, that's talking to people and having conversations. Those are the people that are going to win in the long. It's a relationship. And because of the internet, most products have become commoditized. So you can go on the internet and find anything, right? In a matter of a couple of seconds, you can find anything you want. And because of that, also the lowering of costs of the ability of people to enter a business for almost you can grab tools that are free online and start a business. And so you've got a highly competitive environment. And the way you differentiate yourself is through the relationship that you create with the people that are your ultimate audience. It's not about pitching. It's not about selling. And so, and even in the past, it's almost like we come back to it. And most people today are missing this. And that's the reason why most people are struggling in business today, is they're missing the importance of the true human authentic connection that needs to happen in order to have growth in your business.
Okay, I want to unpack something here, because you and I are both in this same world. We love people, because people make things happen. And whether you're selling a widget or you're selling a multi-million-dollar project, the reality is that it's human interaction. So everybody today, of course, the buzzword is AI, artificial intelligence. Jordan and I love HI, human intelligence. Human intelligence does exactly what he just did. He smiled, bright eyes, nose, what we call nose to nose, toes to toe, right? And a handshake. Or if you can't handshake, you just a recognition of the human condition, because when it really comes to it, it's a human being that you're interacting with that is going to be able to make a decision that's going to be of benefit to that person. See, really what you want to make sure is that, is this a win-win situation? If everybody wins, you're going to win. Is that right, Jordan?
Absolutely. Think about this. Do people crave to be marketed to?
Yeah, please sell me.
When we get involved in business, and the first thing we do is market to people. Like, we're going to sell more. We're going to market more. We're going to invest lots of money into marketing. People don't want to be marketed to. People want to be noticed. People want to feel like they're important. People want to feel that they've got significance. Those are the things that people want. So give them what they want. They want to be noticed. They want to be seen. They want to be understood. They want to feel important. All those things. That's what we need to give people if we want them to do business with us.
We love the A word, appreciation.
Absolutely.
So we have one of our cards that we're famous for, the Keep Smiling cards, given out, thank God, more than 6 million around the world. One of the cards that we have is, did I tell you today how much I appreciate you?
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. You mean somebody actually talked to me as a human being? Woo! So let's follow up with this. You're right. Do people want to be marketed to? Well, the simple answer is no. And yet, the answer is yes, because nothing happens until there's an opportunity for somebody to recognize that what I have is good for you and your business. So how does that happen? We used to call it the follow-up is more important than the open up. So does that apply today, or has that changed as well?
Well, I think it's very much related to what we've been talking about, in that follow-up is just part of a process. So, like, I don't sell to people, I share ideas with people. And then it's a process. So, like, the people that win in business are the ones that are effective at following up in a way that people appreciate. So in other words, if I were to call Barry and say, Barry, I've got some ideas that I think you might like, he's more likely to respond to that than if I try and sell him on an idea, right? So I want to get permission from people to move forward always. Like, I'm going to ask permission to continue. And I'm going to also appreciate not just whether they say yes or no, but appreciate the fact that they said yes to meeting. You know, I'm just going to, whether they join me or not doesn't matter. You know, like, typically sales is about closing. Everybody talks about, well, I got to get better. I hear it all the time. Jordan, I need to get better at closing. And I'm like, no, you don't need to get better at closing. You need to get better at building the relationship and sharing ideas that are important to the person you're talking to. So finding out, asking questions, listening, having a conversation, exchanging ideas. You know, it's about collaboration. How can I help you and how can you help me? Let's work together. Can I pick your brain? I want to learn from you. I would love to share with you some ideas that may be beneficial to you, and I'd love to hear your ideas. Tell me your ideas on how we could do something with this that would really make a difference in the world. Whatever it is, ideas, not sales, not trying to convince them to do something that they don't want to do. If you want people to feel pressured, that's why people don't like salespeople, because salespeople are always making people feel pressured. Well, what is that? That's pressuring somebody is when you're trying to sell them something and they haven't given you permission to do that.
Again, one of the reasons that I am so deeply touched and honored that Jordan is here today is because you're learning about processes. Notice he said this is a process. It's not an event. People think the event is, well, I got the signature and that's going to... It's a process. If the process works along in the human way, then by definition, okay, the signature will come. You're right. You don't have to have any closing techniques. The technique you want is, how can I be more of service to you? the word service is the essential aspect of sales, in my humble opinion. And when Jordan says he wants to share, so share is a great acronym that stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. See, whenever you encounter another human being and you think you have something that's worthwhile, if you begin the process and you're there to share, well, guess what will happen? Somebody might lean in and say, well, tell me more. Mm-hmm. Wow, what a wonderful thing to have 2 humans or 3 humans or 100 humans engaged in more, please. And that happens regularly with what you do, right, Jordan? I mean, you are about more.
You bet. Another thought that came to mind is, like you said, people think that it's that the end game is the close. That's the end game. And actually, that's the starting line. What's the lifetime value of a real customer to you? Let's say you make a $1,000. Let's say, because, it's not just about what that person's going to spend money on, but every person knows in today's social media world, every person knows at least 1,000 people personally. And if you build trust with that individual, they will introduce you to their circle. And a lifetime value. So let's say in real estate, I'll use that as an example. Let's say an average commission is $5,000. I'm just use that as an example. It's probably a lot more than that, but only say $5,000. Well, that family might buy 3 homes from you. I just sold a home from a woman that I bought a home through 10 years ago. Over the course of a lifetime, if you build relationships with your customer base, what if every single one of your customers was still with you today? What would your income be like if every one of your customers was still with you today? So let's say the average real estate person, $5,000 on a commission check, and you sell 3 homes to them over the course of a year, buy or sell a home. So now you have $15,000 in commission right there, but that doesn't even include the referrals. What if you got 1 referral a year for them for the next 10 years? That's another $50,000. So what's the lifetime value of a customer? Most people think that the end is when you close. That's the beginning. That's the starting line. It's what you do with that relationship after that. What can you do to make sure that that person feels an alliance to you for the rest of their life? What can you do to make sure that anytime they think of the product or service that you offer, the first person they think of and the only person they think of is you?
YOU. Now, that's a very wonderful note to conclude our particular session today, because as wonderful as Jordan is, and he is, and as great as Barry is, and he is, this show is not about Jordan or about Barry. It's about you. YOU. You becoming the best you possible. Because when you're the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. Jordan, I have 3 quick questions for you. May I?
Absolutely.
Number 1, will you come back again?
Sure, of course.
Woo! Number 2, Jordan Adler. You have only 80 seconds to answer this. What is your most fervent desire?
That's one to give some thought to. My fervent desire. My fervent desire is that people have peace in their heart and a reason to get up every day with excitement about their life and their future.
That's wonderful. Number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 419,830 people around the world?
Sure.
Let me tell you what HUG stands for. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, this is I Own Las Vegas. You've been listening to the amazing, the indomitable, the ever-giving, wonderful Jordan Adler and your humble host, Barry Shore. And we urge you all, we're blessing from Jordan and Barry. Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Jordan, don't go away.